So all of our funding comes from private donations. We don't get any funding from governments, and the majority of our funding comes from international donors, from the US, Europe, from Britain as well, so all over. But with the current political conditions and turmoil all over, there's conflicts popping up all over the world, and the economical state internationally, it is tough, it is difficult, it's difficult. You can see that there's a drop in the amount of volunteers that we're getting internationally and the amount of donations coming in, so it is making it a bit tough. It's like we have to button up a little bit. There's one or two organizations and platforms where you can fundraise as a non-profit, but you compete with thousands of other organizations, so it is tough. You need to know how to do it, and we've never had any experience with that, so it was dive in the deep end and learn to swim. So we started an international volunteer program where we advertise globally, and we do it mostly on social media. So it's people that see what we do and then they reach out and they say, listen, we're interested in what you're doing, because it is quite unique, the opportunity to get the experience, to be boots on the ground, to have physical, hands-on, boots on the ground conservation experience and actually make a difference. There's a lot of volunteer programs that unfortunately they piggyback on other organizations. They have nothing to offer themselves, but they take the people to go and do all sorts of things with other organizations. Not necessarily anything wrong with that. They're providing people with experience, and they're also providing support to other organizations. But with us, people are physically joining our organization and doing the work and helping with the work that we do with our mission and our fight. And it's very few places that actually give volunteers the experience or the opportunity to go out and physically remove poachers' snares, because it is dangerous. But we have a lot of protocols and procedures and rules in place to keep people safe. It's a 2-week program. Volunteers come through, we provide them with accommodation, we provide them with all of their meals and local transfers. We give them a wide variety of experiences. We also always try, if there's any operations happening, let's say there's a hyena with a snare that needs to be darted and treated, if they are there while that happens, we give them that opportunity to go with and physically have that hands-on experience, to rescue an animal, be part of that. And you never know what's going to happen. I mean, we've had one of our volunteer groups, their first night, they literally sat down to have dinner, and we got the phone call there were 5 lions in town that have broken out of a reserve, and we had to literally, we couldn't even take a bite. We put our knives and forks down, sped out and met the veterinarian, darted the lions, loaded them, took them into the greater Kruger National Park and released them. And we only arrived back home, I think 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock that morning. That was their first night. So you never know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. We are dependent on the help that we get from international volunteers, with them physically coming, staying with us and assisting with the work, and it brings in necessary resources that goes into the conservation company that can help things going, like the salaries and the training that's paid for the rangers, the vehicle maintenance, fuel, everything. It just adds up, veterinary costs. Everything is going up nowadays. So we are dependent on that. We have invested a lot in our fight against poaching and trying to conserve as much of our local biodiversity as we can. Purchased a vehicle that is dedicated solely just for wildlife rescues and snare removals, and we've started a junior ranger apprenticeship program where we've employed young people from the local community, where we give them an opportunity where they can get an opportunity in working in conservation, which is tough, because normally in conservation, if you want to get in, you need to have experience and qualifications. So we decided, you know what, These guys are never going to have the opportunity to do that if we don't give them the opportunity. So all that we ask from them is that they show us that they have a passion for conservation. No qualifications or experience necessary, we provide that. So we send them and pay for all of their training, and we give them ample opportunity and experience to learn, and after their 2-year contract, then we send them out and we help them to actually look for a position.